And like they wouldn't want a guy that's quick to anger. They wouldn't want a guy that has just got a lot of issues. Loving, kind, somebody that's very attentive, somebody that's very sensitive.
God talks about a wife doing her husband good and not evil all the days of her life. You want to be your husband's biggest cheerleader. You want to be the one that always encourages him. You have many things that you can do that for him in many areas.
It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. It's April 2nd. Welcome back to my channel. It is time to talk about the jetting. Tomorrow is the jetting. Today is the jetting eve. It's the eve of the jetting. It's the eve of the jetting. Jed's gonna front hug in the bed. He's probably getting the marriage talk. He might actually be getting that creepy list. Being that a lot of this falls on the wife, the parents of the bride and groom, or the parents of the bride, who knows what kind of stuff the Duggars are going to give Jed for his wedding day honeymoon care package list. But we already have seen it, allegedly. Tomorrow's the wedding, today's the rehearsal, and that means people are starting to make their way to Arkansas. Now, earlier this week, I was actually on YouTube, and I had been listening to some of Gil Bates's sermons, and for some reason his live stream happened to pop up. And during the live stream, Gil actually said that he was going to be flying to Arkansas and he would be attending the wedding.
I don't know what's going to happen on your Friday. I'm going to a wedding. I'm going to be going to a wedding. I'm going to get on a plane. I'm going to fly somewhere. And it's going to be hard to keep my mind on all that Jesus is doing for me when I'm just flying away and enjoying the fellowship of a wedding and somebody getting married. But I want to try to.
So he basically is like, I'm going to attend the wedding, blah, 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 right? Great. Well then, and he was like doing this really like doom and gloom Easter sermon, which, by the way, if you are a Christian, happy Good Friday. So what do we have for beyond that? So Gil was telling his congregation that he was flying to a wedding this weekend. Then we had a spotting of Lawson Bates on a plane, and this was actually courtesy of the Bringing Up Bates subreddit. So thank you guys very much for snapping this. They snapped 2 photos of Lawson on the plane in Arkansas. It's interesting because Lawson Bates has actually been pretty silent on his Instagram the last 2 weeks. He has posted nothing, and I don't know if his girlfriend is going to be going there with him. He's not posted anything about his girlfriend in a couple of weeks either. So I'm starting to wonder if there's some trouble in paradise. I totally alleged I didn't see anything on her Instagram about her going anywhere, but I'll keep you posted. So Lawson is in Arkansas. Then Trace Bates was in a RV driving, and he said that he was driving from Tennessee to Arkansas. So it is interesting here to think of like some of the Bates are flying and some of them are driving. Like, what do you think the cutoff here was? Are some of them not wanting to fly? Is it too expensive for them all to fly? And then the other weird thing is that Lawson took a commercial airline. Lawson is a pilot, I believe, and several of his brothers have planes. So I wonder why he wouldn't have taken one of their private planes to fly to Arkansas instead of taking a commercial plane. It's very rare that you see these kids flying commercial. I don't know if it's that they needed to get there faster. I don't know if they don't have access to a plane. I have no idea. But I know that these guys have their own planes, so it's weird to see him on a commercial jet. And it's even weirder to see them in an RV. Well, no, it's not. That's how these people roll. So Trace was with younger Bates daughters, and that's what we have for the Bates. So we at least know that the Bates are going to be in attendance. Now, what's always still super weird is it went silent. It's gone fairly silent on the Duggar's social media side of things. Joy posted a photo of Gideon and Evie earlier today, but there's no stories from Jessa that contain anything about the wedding. Jill, Ginger, nothing from Jeremy. And I don't know if Ginger and Jeremy are going to be going to Arkansas. It is during Easter. And knowing that he's a pastor, I don't know if he's going to be going to Arkansas. And a lot of people have been sort of shocked that it's taking place during this week, given how so many churches have such a busy schedule on Sunday. And then they also typically will have Good Friday services. So why they picked this specific weekend, the only thing I can think of is it's like they were maybe hoping that it wouldn't get out to the media and it wouldn't be a typical weekend that anyone would get married. So no one would suspect that this would be the weekend they get married. That's the only like logical thing I can think of. Now, who's going to be officiating the wedding? I don't know, because I was looking at, David Waller. David Waller has been an officiant. Paul Caldwell has been an officiant. David Waller and Priscilla, they are preparing for Easter service in Texas. So they have their own church in Texas that David is a pastor at. So they're not going to be coming up for the wedding. And Jed goes to Lighthouse Baptist Church. So I guess that it could be Paul that does the officiating. Now, Katey's family has recently moved to Arkansas. So she had been with her parents living in Mesa, Arizona. But the son actually was able to take a look at some records, and they were able to pull up some property records, which showed that Corey had purchased some property and a fairly large. So Corey, and in preparation for this wedding, it looks like they purchased property on December 30th, 2020. So they purchased a house. According to the court records in Washington County, they actually purchased a home for $594,000, and they made the purchase. It's located in Benton County, Arkansas, and it looks like it's a fairly decent size house because that's a fairly high price tag for homes in Arkansas. So in preparation for the wedding, it looks like Corey brought his family up from Arkansas or from Mesa, Arizona, and purchased a home in Washington County or Benton County, which is near where the Duggars live. So Katey's family is going to be living near them, and Katey will be in Arkansas with Jed. And we already know that Jed was gifted a house from Jim Bob Duggar. Incidentally, I did a live stream earlier today and answered a ton of questions. And if you want to watch that, you can. But during that live stream, I also let my audience know that the home that Jed Duggar is actually living in, or will be living in with Katey, is the former house that Paul and Christina Caldwell were living in. So Jim Bob Duggar had made the purchase of this home, I think back in 2016. And shortly after he bought the house, Paul and Christina moved in and they were living there. And I'm told they did not pay rent, but Paul was working for Jim. Last year, there must have been some sort of dust up. There was something that happened at Lighthouse Baptist Church. The Duggars no longer attend there, but Jed, Jeremiah, and Joseph still do. But when that dust up happened and when the conflict happened, Jim Bob asked Paul and Christina to pay rent. I'm told that they declined and they subsequently moved out. And so that house had been occupied by Paul and Christina Caldwell and now is going to be where Katey and Jed live, allegedly. The home is 2,100 square feet. It has 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. Some of you guys were thinking that because Katey's family is wealthy, that perhaps Jim Bob gifted a larger home sort of as a show of, here's where your daughter will be able to live because she's come from a wealthier family. Now, the Nakatsus do own property. They also own a flight school, and Corey is known to own a bunch of real estate in Arizona. So that might make sense. Also, Jed has been working self-employed for several years. he would be able to maintain the cost of a home that's a little bit more expensive than some of his siblings. So the jetting happens tomorrow. We know that they have a place to live. We know that Katey's parents moved to Arkansas. We know that the Bates are on their way, but it's still so freaking weird that tomorrow is a wedding and they have not said a dang thing. Duggars have said nothing. They have not talked about, the general public doesn't even know that Katey exists outside of us sleuths figuring this all out, right? Or the reporters or all the different people that have come forward and shared their tips. Otherwise, the Duggars have not acknowledged the relationship. They have not posted any congratulations for the engagement. They have not said a word about the wedding. Now, some people say that maybe this is at the request of the family, like Katey's family. Maybe they want it to be more private. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be on Counting On or not. There was recently an update posted about Josiah and Lauren. They have really not, and a lot of these updates that they're posting on TLC are like about the babies, and they're sort of negating everything related to these courtships. Are these all being like held over by Jim Bob so he can get more cash from TLC? Or is it just not going to be a part of the show? Is Jed not going to be on the show? I don't know. There's so many questions here. But anyways, this is where we're at today. Jetting watch continues. Tomorrow is the jetting. I know some people will be live streaming it, so I'll keep you posted about as more details pop up. If you get any snapshots of anything that you see, make sure you send me a DM. Make sure that if you're not yet, follow me on Instagram at Without a Crystal Ball. And that's where I post a lot of things that I'm working on. And if you haven't seen the other videos this week, we did a video yesterday about Janelle Evans and Devin Clegg from 90 Day Fiancé. So if you really like a train wreck of a story, that one is super messy and I think you might be interested. Other than that, the live stream was up earlier today and I will have some more content coming later, but tell me what your thoughts are about all of this in the comments below. Bye guys.